Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on the Ubuntu channel. My name is Lawrence, hosting you on today's edition of Ubuntu Politics. And it's a political Tuesday, and we are here to talk about one aspect of the happenings in our lives and the situation we're in the country, and that is obviously the Mealie Meal kind of arrangement. This time around, the Zambia National Service (ZNS) has offloaded quite a significant number of bags of Mealie Meal onto the market, and they are selling like hot cake. Now, let me just read a passage from the News Diggers. That's today's edition of the News Diggers on page 2, where Shoprite country manager Charles Botta says ZNS's Eagle's Mealie Meal is now the fastest selling brand in their stores, simply because it is currently the cheapest Mealie Meal that we have, and everybody wants to have that cheap Mealie Meal. Now, questions are arising. This is what we're talking about today on Ubuntu channel. Remember, we appreciate your viewership and we appreciate the fact that you have joined us this evening. Remember to share a comment, remember to leave a comment wherever you're watching us from, so that we should be able to know that you are with us. I'm not alone in the studio. I'm joined by Himba. Himba, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on the Ubuntu channel.
Good evening, Lawrence, and good evening, viewers, wherever you're watching us from. Tom Tambula, welcome to Swedila. And we are so happy to be with you tonight. It has been long when we interacted, and we are so excited having you tonight. Lawrence Wadiela.
Aningi chabe. Snaine, mbovu so. Snaine.
Kuina kulipambili.
Also, let me welcome Mukelabai, who is always with us on this particular program. Mukelabai, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Good evening. Good to see you guys, and looking forward to discuss what's currently taking place back home.
Interesting. Now, before we even get started, I want us to have to just have a glimpse of what is happening actually when it comes to the Mealie Meal situation here. Last week, we saw the mayor for Kafue District Council who tried to hold a charity event at the Kosa Stadium right in Kafue Estate, where she was giving out Mealie Meal hampers to various vulnerable families. And that situation turned out to be some sort of a chaos, because everybody, even people who were in the stands, were trying to have some Mealie Meal, and they're claiming they did not have Mealie Meal at home, so they couldn't just watch others receive, and it became a situation where everybody was scrambling for a bag of Mealie Meal. Let's just look at a clip and see exactly the situation that happened in Kafue last week.
Mama. Unga, yeah. Unga. Wacha kile hapo para mwisho pale. Kefinti. Arafa wangu. Yeah. One. Yeah.
That is exactly the situation now. Himba, let me bring you in on this one. We used to have situations like this in the past because probably there is not enough mealie meal on the market. But this time around, the mealie meal is there. It's just the price.
First of all, Lawrence, let me acknowledge that it's really sad that an event that was well planned and with good intentions to save the underprivileged in the community, it ended up in such a situation. That is something we regret. But however, it's just that it's a situation we are in at the moment. The minimum prices is quite high for every Zambians to afford it, which we regret. And we are so happy that the government is working on it and is putting measures to see to it that every Zambian is able to afford a bag of mealie meal. It's just also the attitude we have as Zambian people. Basically, you're going to find that some of the people who were there involved in that stampede, some of them can even afford a bag of mealie meal. But the challenge we have in our country is that we believe in having handouts. And many times when we don't believe, like, okay, badabaleba pera pantufia mahala. Tafikiri fe na yase ndako naini. But the moment we are going to have that integrity within us that, okay, fine, me, I can afford. Those who can't afford, let them benefit. Me, I can afford even pangono ningakwanise, but best bakwanisila lekani batenge. The moment we start reaching those levels of reasoning as a nation, it will be a sign of development. But we also appeal to our government leaders, and it's an eye-opener that this is how desperate the people are on the ground, and this is how serious the situation is on the ground, that most Zambians are struggling to afford a bag of mealie meal. And we are so happy that the government is really attending to this situation. I submit.
Thank you so much. Let me also get a reaction from Mukelabai. Mukelabai, please.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. What I don't know. I didn't get the full story over the people that were busy getting the mealie meal or grabbing mealie meal. Were they informed that you come to this place, this is where you are going to find the mealie meal that will be given to you for free, or what happened?
It was a charity event that was meant where the mayor was trying to donate some mealie meal or some food hampers, actually not only mealie meal, to some vulnerable
Did the mayor
some
announce?
to some vulnerables in the society, and a list of those who are going to receive was actually very well prepared. But some people thought they also deserved that mealie meal because they can't afford it.
No, that is so. Me, I feel that was already sabotaged. It was staged, or it was sabotaged. We have people that are busy trying to fight the government in all the successes or all efforts they are making. They want to portray a picture as though this government is the one that has brought all these kind of problems today. My question is, if the mayor was meeting these people, and they went, were they people aware? If the people were aware that there was going to be a distribution of mealie meal, and they got ready to go, and it's like they were prepared to go and attack, or rather to go and grab or steal, because that can amount to stealing. Because and these people were, it's not that they just acted on impulse. They've been planning for this. So we know that there's the government. That's why the government needs to be very careful in handling people, because they are busy fighting against the opposition that is trying to bring or to demonize the government in every effort that is making. that was it was well-intended organization, and people were aware, and the ceremony, whatever, was under siege. Not that because people were hungry and then they went to grab. No, they were under siege because they planned that when they do this, this is what we are going to do. And if you are to get 2 or 3 people from there and interrogate, you hear more stories. We were sent to come and bring this and that. So we know.
Sound so sure, Mukelabai. You sound so sure.
Yeah, because it has never happened like that, and there's no hunger. Listen, takuli nsala mu Zambia, okay? Insala ina ninkana. Ubunganga na $1, yes. Things are expensive, and it's all over the world. Insala ina wufi takuli nsala mu Zambia. And people, like Himba said, there are certain people that are used. We are coming from a background where, from a regime that made us to be dependent on handouts. You know, ukufolesha abantu, tantamen, mufole tantamen. And this is what the people have been waiting. And there are so many of them. They have been waiting for all this. They are not trying to look for employment. They're not trying to work so that they can afford a bag of mealie meal. They are waiting for handouts. Now, when you have such mindset, such community who are waiting for handouts, and then you come up with an event and you have their leaders that are busy attacking, shooting down, demonizing the government's effort to mitigate their recklessness. It is their recklessness, the previous regime, that brought all this. And then you still want to shoot down their efforts. Then are you really a Zambian? Are you really, what are your intentions? If the government is trying to help, it's not ZNS. ZNS, it's part of the government. It's the government itself that is helping, that has come up with it.
I would urge you, let us not preempt the discussion. We are coming to that in a little bit. As we go into the discussion now, we are looking at the ZNS Mealie Meal. Actually, it's where we are going to, and that's where we're heading to. But as we go into that, let me just ask my producer to just give us the next clip, and then we can pick it up from there on the other side, and then we talk about the ZNS Mealie Meal that has raised a lot of questions from quite a number of opposition political parties. Let's get into it.
buli obunga buli abo ba ZNS abeni ba ZNS bashitisha 185
imwe mwasalundo bunga ba UPND to 230 ole muleba amazambia to go and buy cheap mealie meal nishi amazambians mbamona shana
napanga batumuna bapwala
amazambians mbamona shana ba UPND ba ZNS abeni baleshitisha obunga 185 muma komboni monso mbale pita ZNS kwa yo imo mwasalundo bunga dio we are frauding cheap mealie meal Shoprite
ero na ina ma Shoprite konse kwa ba ma Shoprite ero ngeni kumuchinga tekwa na Shoprite
the entire muchinga takwa ba Shoprite so abena muchinga bakalashita kuisobunga obubino bunga obubino mudurishe obwatu 230
ero nishibadura iro bwa 50 kwacha libali laba
tapari cheap mealie meal apart cheap mealie meal pari expensive mealie meal bulobunga mwalingira kulashtisha 185 na 50 kwacho mwala irabani
elo kuli yashirimu era yashipaka tipadati yo bulobunga walambo kufuma ku South Africa
obukala pita kuya ku Congo bulobunga tatulefa boka mena mbukwa lemena Zambia
ama break mu
bulobunga filafina byali program wa bulobunga bukala kunani kane ku Congo kule ya ku Congo muno Muzambia tulefa obungo bwachanganya
tatulefa ama GMOs
ama Zambians tabali obungo bwachanganya so tulesubira kwa TV yatafya kachitike
let's hope so
tafya kachitike
because ulobunga bama GMO wali kwa tama issues especially aba kwa tama BP amashani twafuye bareli afya hiyo
tema BP eka ulo unafuna mubiri w'abana abana bakamba kulafufu mukafufuka
kwa mbokura kwati fimata
so ulo usatu busuniyo
turebufwaya
ama Zambianzi bali obungo bwa original oba bayirimi nabene
but let's hope era fuji kuli but anyway tukesa kumala mbaro di box ilili ashiri kulu apule linali tukalipedi
we mulandi wapula ali ashitali weme because yala masu yakasebenzesha basi yakalima
awatawe mina ngupanda
ila ni hate speech hate speech hapa nembo.
There we are, reactions to the 230 kwacha to pay 25 kg of breakfast Eagles Mealie Meal. Part of the reactions that we're getting there, and we are being told, well, it's not actually cheap, it's still expensive because Mealie Meal was actually 185. Mukelabai, let me ask you to come in first.
You see, I don't even know where to start. How can even those boys be brought on this humble program where to discuss useless creatures? I mean, those are just young men who are just busy trying to dramatize things. They have no information, no data, no nothing. They are just entertaining their own fellow PF cadre. Those are chaps who are just
they are Zambians. They're adding a voice to the Zambians.
No, that's not adding a voice. That is a copyright of of one of these guys. Come again?
Okay, you can go on now. You can go on.
Yeah, those boys, to me,
kindly continue.
They cannot. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? I can hear you loud and yes. We cannot have those boys as a source of information where you even claim that the country does not represent the country. Anyway, just to react from their whatever, I didn't even follow it properly because I don't pay attention to nonsense. However, they were starting to talk about the ZNS Mealie Meal and the pricings. You see, and these are the people who have been on social media day in, day out from the time Mealie Meal prices went up. They have never come to this media, to social media, to talk about the Mealie Meal price being sold at 180, whatever, from of ZNS. They were busy exaggerating prices in their mouth. Every time they want to mention about Mealie Meal, they go and mention 300, 400, 500. We've seen most of these videos from this. They were trying to spread this narrative to the people that the Mealie Meal price is now so expensive, so exorbitant. The price is so little. Did they know that there has been Mealie Meal? The government has been selling Mealie Meal at a very reasonable and affordable price, but the opposition and those who are enemies of progress, they are going around the nation exaggerating, coming up with figures in their own heads without facts. They go ahead and start spreading without even calculating or the expenses from production to the end product. They don't talk about that. All they do is to demonize and try to plant a doubting seed in every Zambian. And there are some Zambians who have even started to, they've even begun to believe this propaganda, you know.
Let me bring in Himba here. Himba, they mentioned something like the whole of Muchinga province does not even have a ShopRite, and ZNS has decided to supply and so only supply ShopRite with this particular commodity. How will the people in Muchinga who do not have ShopRite access this minimum?
Despite, first of all, when we are reacting from these comments from these PF guys, sometimes we really have to be focused. In the first place, the PF people were boasting that there's development, they've built structures in the country. It's so shocking to hear that they couldn't even convince the ShopRite people to go and build one in Muchinga. Anyway, that's another story. We've just heard they are confessing that development did not get there during their time, because you can't expect that in the 2 years the UPND has been in power, it can put the ShopRite all over the country. However, I think this is also a very valid point where the government has to look into it. I think they should also consider other local stores for two reasons. One, for every Zambian to access this cheap mealie meal. Secondly, also to empower the other local stores, because these ShopRite are foreign stores. So basically, it would be nice if we could have even our own local stores, even these small dealers, mashopi yangono na beve, kubachitako incorporate to supply this mealie meal. And for real, yes, there are no ShopRite in other areas, which is a very, very vital point. And I hope our political leaders, they'll look into it and to see that all the corners of Zambia, they are able to access this mealie meal. If anything, it's in the rural areas where I would expect this mealie meal to be affordable.
Actually, just to add on that one, rural area people don't even need that mealie meal because they have their own cheap mealie meal that they enjoy because they cultivate. Bazilimira beka balina mataba balina milisi bazigayisa bakudya mealie meal yochipa mealie meal yaba ZNS ni yabene mu matawuni.
Right. I'm tempted to ask you, Mukelabai, when last did you visit your people in Western Province?
People in Western Province, they are enjoying themselves. They have cheap maize, and they are glad that the maize that they are busy cultivating is being sold at 280 per 50 kg. Why would someone who has 50 kg of maize go and buy 25 kgs of mealie meal at 300? Why? When you have enough maize?
I don't know if the Western Province you have visited and the Western Province I have visited are two different. But if you go to places like Sikongo district there, believe you me, there is no maize actually. Mukelabai, there is nothing there.
There is no maize. Is that what that
Actually,
was just from?
If I can come in, actually, there are other places within our country where the rainfall is really not good and they depend on the government relief food. And hence, those rural areas should be taken into consideration that every Zambian is able to access this staple food and can have 3 meals at a day. I also want to react on the point where these guys, they are saying, Ubungo wa kulafuma South Africa. You know, when we are commenting on these political issues, let us have the facts. If we're to look back in the past, I think I was old enough to understand Actually, when I was watching the clip for the Kafue mayor, it reminded me of the stampede that used to happen kuma Nyeki. Some of us were privileged. Ukufyaro akolya kwali Nyeki, kwali Mwaiseni, those shops, and kwali nama coupon. So if these people are saying Avena Zambia tabadi obunga bwa coupon, I remember I was quite young, but I was old enough to remember what happened that time. Twalea mukutantama kumwaiseni ukuyashita flour, ukuyashita obunga, and ubunga batwaleshita at that particular time. It was yellow maize, and we were calling it Guy Scott. By then, Guy Scott was the Minister of Agriculture, and that meaning we used to call it Guy Scott, if I remember very well. So basically, for somebody to be portraying a picture that Njala ya Bwela Manje, UPND, I think it should be somebody who maybe abafiereko apa okumpepi, or they've not checked their history properly. This shortage of mealie meal has been there, and we've eaten GMO before, in the past. Nikumbuka wezokamba unga wa mahosi, unga wachani, and it was like that. So for these people to be saying, no, Zambian people, they can't eat the GMO. And apparently, I'm also shocked to hear that there's the mealie meal which is being expected from South Africa. Do you think South Africa can produce more maize than us in Zambia? Okay, that one, I can't really talk about it.
I think Himba, if I'm not mistaken, the government had indicated some time back that they were going to start importing maize, which they were going to be exporting. Or mealie meal. I'm not sure which one of the two, but I think there was that kind of an idea that came in from government. I think that is what they were talking about.
Okay, thank you for that correction. But even when the government is trying to bring Wakambati Ungama GMO, do they even know how many things which are GMO in Zambia which they are eating? Or you just speak because somebody has given you a bit of information.
When you react like that, it's like you are agreeing that there is a mention of GMO somewhere.
No, basically, I'm just reacting to say this is not our first time we're having the GMO in our country. We've had it before.
No,
and for somebody to portray a picture like Nika number one, that's why I'm reacting. But basically, I'm not sure if there's any GMO which is coming. I think it will be a rule, or I'll be misleading the nation to say GMO. I'm not aware about it, but I'm just trying to clarify that if there's such a situation, this is not the first time it has happened. We've eaten GMOs before, and it was before. Me, I remember my mother like 005 via tantama kumwa saying. Then I said, and when the mealie meal will come, they'll be rationing the way. Like bali 10 gula 1 or sometimes even say 2 families buy one bag mwakana pakat, something like that. So this is the situation that has been, and we are so grateful to the new Dawn government that they've actually found a solution. They are working on it to find a solution, but I'm trying to disagree with the picture that this is the first time when such a thing has happened, or I mean, like we've never had worse a situation to what is there in our country at the moment.
Okay, just to clarify on that one as we move on, the government has critically mentioned that there are no GMOs expected anywhere in the country, because even the mealie meal that is being used currently is produced by the farmers themselves and sold to FRA, and that's where ZNS is getting the mealie meal. Now, as we progress now, Mukelabai, it's the issue of the pricing. I think last week we had even touched a little bit on the issue of subsidies, and you are one of the people that categorically stated that subsidies should not even find their way in our discussions because it was very expensive for us. Now the question that is being asked is this mealie meal being supplied by ZNS actually have a subsidy? I want you to hold your thought there as we ask for the clip where the acting PF president is actually asking this question. May my producer please bring in that clip.
Recent government announcement that ZNS will sell to the national, the nation mini meal at a price of 230 raises more questions than answers. Number one question, where are they buying the maize? If the maize is 280 kwacha a bag, where are they buying it for them to be able to sell mini meal at 230? Who is subsidizing? Because obviously there's a subsidy here. Who is subsidizing?
ZNS at their outlets, they are selling 25 kg bag of breakfast at 220 kwacha, while when they take the same bag of mealie meal to ShopRite, it is selling at 230. Roller meal is selling at ZNS outlet at 180 kwacha. When it goes to ShopRite outlet, it is selling at 190 kwacha. There is no distortion of information whatsoever that should be brought into this kind of equation to try and distort facts. So when you have people who were in government and still have the audacity and the propensity to tell lies to the nation, it tells you what type of leadership they offer on the table.
Okay, there we are. It's the issue of pricing that is now being debated on. Remember, the Food Reserve Agency was buying a bag of mealie meal from the farmers at 280 kwacha. And surprisingly, ZNS is producing a bag of breakfast meal at 220 kwacha. According to the PF acting president, he is saying that the math doesn't agree, that doesn't add up. Is there a subsidy there? Himba, kindly come in first.
Thank you so much, Rollins. You know, our politicians sobelesa. You know, it's Zambo Tenga persona because, you know, they are like playing on our mind. The opposition, at one point, they were saying, Ungawadula, the government can't find a solution. That's what they were saying, is it? But now, the government has gone to the round table and sat, and then they found at least a breather that the Zambian people should afford, at least unga pangono. They are now coming to say, nanga wachipa bwanji unga. So I'm trying to understand. So even at a certain point, the opposition leaders, they actually knew that it was impossible for unga kuti unkale cheap, but they were politicizing this situation. Are you getting where I'm coming from? They knew that it was not easier for unga to unkale cheap, but they were politicizing and singing, unga wadula, unga wadula. I never heard any political leader who could say, okay, mwebantu, apa unga wadula, and unga wadula, it's because of this, because of this, because of this. Maybe let's put our heads together as Zambian people and as Zambian leaders so that we find a solution to this high cost of mealie meal. But they were busy politicizing it. But today they've again turned round. Who is subsidizing? So again, unga okadula, they are protesting. Ukankalalo uambo bwela pants, they are protesting. What are they telling us? You know, they are saying who is subsidizing? Okay, if there's a subsidies, if they discover that it's the government subsidizing, what will happen to them? You know, so I don't get it what they're trying to say, and I don't get it what they're trying to insinuate. I've also gotten a recording from one of the opposition leaders who is saying my milling companies are apart from ZNS, but like produce unga. You know, I was listening to this man speaking. Produce ZNS to produce mealie meal for the whole country. Okay, they're only about there are only about 3 milling companies that now listen, this is a person who is speaking like this. He's a leader and he's inciting people to stop. So I was like, okay, so this man, does he think they're doing us a favor as milling companies to kutigulisa unga? Because basically they're also in business, they are benefiting. So he's coming out like the milling companies, they're doing us a favor and they're just dishing mealie meal. So the political leaders, can they be sober for now, especially the opposition? We need them. We need them to do proper checks and balances. This politicking that is not making sense, we are not getting it. These checks and balances, we want proper checks and balances. Can they speak for the Zambian people, not for their tummies? I submit.
Mukelabai, bringing you in, remember, like I said earlier on, you mentioned that subsidies should not even be anywhere near us at this point in time. But PF is saying they are smelling subsidies, and they are not against that. They only want someone to admit that subsidies are back.
Thank you. PF to even come out here on the media and talk about subsidy when they know what they did, what subsidy made or did to our nation. They were busy selling fuel using subsidies, and yet the government was busy accumulating, the country was busy accumulating bills, huge debts. So where would this government find the money to give subsidies to continue when the balance sheet does not add up? This is where I came from. That's why I said for the government, for this current government to start again subsidizing, they need first of all to have enough money in the coffers. But right now there's nothing. They have seen what subsidies did to our country, and we are in this mess today because of the same subsidy, some of the subsidies that our brothers purported to be giving to the people, doing at the time when they were in power. And look at where it ended us to. $700 million as in debt accumulated from the same subsidies that they were busy giving. The very money that we were accumulating is the same money that is now busy being paid up by every Zambian today. And people don't want to talk about it. They don't want to see that. They want to point a finger to say, look, this is where I don't understand sometimes. Like Himba put it, these are the chaps that have been busy on the social media spreading news that mealie meal prices is going up, mealie meal price, this government. And here's the situation. The very government they are talking about sat down. Like we always say that this government always finds solution. They listen. It's not that we're just praising them. They are different from the previous regime. They are different from the PF. During that time, this is where we used to get, these were the answers we used to get. Kasundile muma tank. These were the answers, the responses we were getting from some of the leaders in that political party, in that part. Some of them, they will even say, you can kuti mwali yako tute. I mean kandolo. You know, when things were bad. Now, but this government is not responding in such manner. No. This government is responding by acting. They go and find solution. So right now, this ZNS, I believe it's a temporal solution, but we are heading somewhere very, very positive. I believe many, even the millers, they are all going to fall into this and join ZNS and start producing mealie meal at a very lower price, because now this is where liberalization of the economy kicks in. The government has intervened with the cheap maize. The millers, they have their own maize. and they are not going to be getting their profit anytime soon because there is one mealie meal that is selling higher. What do you think they will do, those millers, when they see that there's on the market, there's this mealie meal? They will also be forced to join to bring down the cost so that they do not just get more profit.
Remember that they are supplying to ShopRite, and ShopRite. Let's take Lusaka province for example. Lusaka province, the whole lot of the province is only in Lusaka district and in Chirundu district. That's why you find ShopRite. The rest of the districts,
No.
they do not
You
have.
see, that's the problem. Let me speak Lozi a little bit. Musike matela ndombe kuswala ndombe kwa muhata ikakutava kapa uswale noha kwa muhata mukalumiwa, meaning mwiravutukila ukwikata ensoka kumuchila yala kusuma. This government has not this is just the beginning. This government has not even given a statement to say we are going to only rely on ShopRite only. It is you, the opposition, who are now busy crying the loudest before you could even hear where they are headed, what their plans are. You think they are not stupid. They know that ShopRite is within a certain satellite areas, but there are other places where there's no ShopRite. This government is working tirelessly. I'm not going to be surprised to hear that some of the businessmen, local business or people like when the GBM is now receiving mealie meal to distribute in his the same mealie meal from ZNS. I will not be surprised because they have already satellite, they have already plans. But the first thing is they're supposed to start to kickstart this project. How do they kickstart it? What are the most which are the most visited retailers that they can use? First and foremost, ShopRite became one of these. But people want to politicize it. You go and buy Kalembla in ShopRite. You go and buy Choma milling in ShopRite. When the government wants to use ShopRite, you are saying, why are you promoting the international? Now by ShopRite, by Vipa, then you start. Bwewa Zambia mule kwate chishinka. Tatwa kwata fe chishinka, we know that you complain for at anything. The government has planned, and all this, I promise you, we'll be laughing about this tomorrow. That's why Nare Miewa Nokmewa last time said, when the government start resolving this problem, the mealie meal issue, they will fail to have any excuse. They will now start fishing, fault finding for of anything. We know they are the opposition. We know they need to oppose the government, yes, whenever this, but let them come up with substances. Not Idionse. No, look, why ShopRite? Right now, it is what is workable. It is what is workable. And I don't think Abumulela that now bata now kuma places muchinga takuwa ba ShopRite kwisa. Come on, guys. Zambia is a big country. This government is going to reach. What happens during national disasters? The government does go nama helicopter, nama choppers. It reaches those places where the very people who are busy talking nonsense can't even reach, but the government has reached there. So don't underestimate the power of the people that we've entrusted to take us to Canaan. This government is going to bring a lot of light. It's shedding a lot of light in this tunnel that we've come in this dark previous past challenges that we've had. They are busy unlocking all these unlocking the challenges slowly but sure. We know it's not going to be easy. They are working also under pressure, but we need to give them support. and appreciate when they come up with something that is workable, that our people are going to appreciate.
I have to cut I have to cut you short, and let me allow the producer just give us a last clip, because we are racing against time at this point in time.
You cannot go and buy more than 2 bags. So this is not from government, this is from ourselves as ShopRite, because we would like every customer to be able to access the bag, for the reason that it's the cheapest mealie meal on the market. Our current cheapest mealie meal, 25 kg, is 293 kwacha, 299. This one will be selling at 230 kwacha. That's very cheap mealie meal for now in the times we are in. So we are restricting breakfast to 2 bags, roller to 2 bags, but you can't buy 2, 2, and 4. No, you buy 2 bags. Whatever you're buying, you're only buying 2 bags per person. That is the restriction. Every store that you go to, Eagle brand mealie meal will be there in Lusaka. You will only be allowed to buy 2 bags per person.
Well, this mealie meal seems to have come with some restrictions on the number of bags. Nothing like that.
Listen to yourself. Already you are condescending. You are not appreciating the initiative.
I'm not disapproving. I'm not approving. I'm actually very neutral here, and I'm just saying there are conditions to this mealie meal when you go to ShopRite to buy. I think everybody who is trying to buy this mealie meal, please beware of that. Mukelabai, I'll give you a chance to add on to what the country manager for ShopRite has just given us.
The country manager of ShopRite is being patriotic. You know, he knows what is happening. He has seen the demand, and he is also trying to. He's Zambian, by the way, and we should appreciate that fact. And for him to have come up like that to say, look, he wants everyone to benefit, to be able to buy the cheap mealie meal, because there are certain individuals that are very selfish. They have the money. Zambians mwalikwa tempia. One of the some chaps can go and sweep the whole ShopRite. And what are you going to do? And then buy. Yes, they can buy. You have the money. But now the country manager knows ama manners to akwat sometimes. He just thought, I think it is for the best, is for the benefit of every Zambian to benefit. So let the mealie meal reach everyone. So 2 bags, it's okay. You can do that. That's the ShopRite's regulation. So we have to follow. It's their house. It's in their domain. So what can we do? We cannot demonize them and start saying we are coming up with conditions. Those conditions are of good benefits to our brothers and sisters. So I really commend his approach, and I know many is going to now start politicizing, and they even start calling him. They will start calling him a politician. You know, Mwambo Kuchita, no, we don't want to mix ShopRite with politics. Let them continue with what they're doing. We love their what they're doing to the country, and we should appreciate that initiative. It's not a bad initiative. 2 bags each. I think if you win, that's how it should be. And he even put it to say this instruction or this is coming from ShopRite, not the government. He did well, because the government would have been bashed by now by the opposition. had he not said anything like that. Otherwise, it's a good move.
Let me also allow Himba to come in on that one and just give a comment and a thought.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. I think for me, I don't see anything wrong with what the country manager has said. And I think they're all looking at the interest of every Zambian. Venangu ungamene bazambo enda bagula 20 bags they go and resell. Venangu bazambo membe ngambatawe palichania ZNS pali loga ZNS you can't sell no. Umuntu lipa business no mwina Zambia ali shupa they can go and bachinja masaka yadi ababika ma plastics mutumba pamila they will start and reselling that mealie meal. But what the ShopRite people are saying, this mealie meal is not for reselling. This mealie meal is for the people of Zambia to benefit. So basically ingawendo gula unga uli 4, then you should stop complaining that unga wadula if you can afford 4 bags at once. So you're basically contradicting yourself by saying unga wadula. Unga wadula ulina 4 bags mumanja. What message are you sending? So basically what the country director manager has said, it's nothing but just to look out for every Zambian. Mukagula unga wabi winangu mwa isura mona wikala bulelo lela. Tetmye mshita masaka ya unga yali finish mletwa. So basically the government working hand in hand with ShopRite, they are looking after every Zambian. All we can say is, can they also consider the local shops, like ama shops my dealers bakut muma other localities. And my thinking is they've started with ShopRite because it's one of well stable shops, because maybe this was the first consignment, and which is a pilot program. Maybe year first they are trying to see how is it going to work, what challenges are we going to have, probably before we go in other parts of the country. Let's start in our ShopRite, which is reachable, network, communication, it's easier. So that whatever challenges which may come from this mealie meal, we sort it out before we go outside the catchment with the areas which are very difficult to reach. So basically, I'm thinking this is just a starting point, and the mealie meal will be everywhere in the country. And please go on with your campaign. But I don't think the normal miller will accept that, because they know that they're also at a loss. But we are so grateful that the government has intervened and they've come up with a solution that makes it a little bit for the Zambian people to breathe. I only hope they're also looking into a sustainable program that will be long term. Because if you look at the past farming seasons, we are not really good. So really it's affected. So we really have to invest into farming so that we can produce more maize and be able to sell maize at a cheaper price, and we'll be able to have mealie meal at a cheaper price as well. So our country manager, I stand with him, and I support him. There's nothing wrong he has done. I rest my case. So basically, if we are saying people can afford 6 bags of mealie meal, over to you, Lawrence.
Okay, let me just give the two of you a chance to just give your concluding remarks. Please, I give you try to give your remarks under a minute. Mukelabai, come in.
You are ending our 2-hour program. I'm surprised. Anyway, what can I say? I've even run out of words. Mwema Zambians, we understand the situation that is taking place in Zambia. The mealie meal prices that has skyrocketed, and I believe the country, the government, they are doing everything possible. Do not listen to people that put us in this mess in the first place. There's no way the current government could have created this mess within 2 years. We know where it is coming from. We know the genesis of all this. So and that's why you hear them complaining. When something positive is happening, they are coming out now to bash or gun down positive, progressive suggestions. Ububungo bw'aba ZNS or the ZNS, tebwaba ZNS ni Zambia National Service, and Zambia National Service belong to the government. It's a government branch of government, and the government is now making suggestions or making solutions to mitigate this challenge that we have in a country. We know it's not going to take long, but their government is going to find a permanent solution that is going to work for us. But for now, this is what they have done, and we should all stand by this government and support and say kudos for having listened. Don't listen to Wolubinda who are busy talking of subsidies. Why should you sell? They want us to sell a bag of maize, the maize cheaper, so we can sell mealie meal cheaper. No. We want farmers to be empowered so that they can grow more maize. We want maize to be marketable. So it is going to be our diamond and make money so we can send our children to universities, even abroad, because we have the capacity. So with those few words, let us support with this government. This government has a heart for the Zambian people, unlike the previous people who actually store and empty the coffers.
Okay, thank you so much. Himba, kindly, please try to keep under a minute yourself as you give your concluding remarks and we wind up.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. All I would say is that our leaders, thank you so much that you are intervening in this situation of the mealie meal price, and we pray that this price of mealie meal will reduce more, and we also hope that every Zambian will be able to afford a bag of mealie meal, because that's our staple food we have. And to the opposition leaders, please, can you speak for us, the Zambian people? Stop speaking for your tummies. Please give the proper checks and balances and solutions to the problems that the country is facing. Thank you so much for having me, Lawrence, and thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to interact with our viewers out there. I'm so happy that the price of mealie meal is going down slowly, hopefully for the better. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in to watch the program, and we really appreciate that you were with us. Remember, we are back again next week with this program, and obviously looking at another exciting topic. Let me appreciate my guests, that is Mukelabai and Himba, for making time, and you, the viewers, who actually took the time to watch us throughout the program. We really appreciate. My name is Lawrence, signing out on behalf of everybody involved in this production. Good night.